Today's top picks from Reuters Breakingviews. We look at what a Spanish bailout could look like, and Rothschild merger secures the family's grip on the bank. With me is Peter Tarr-Larsen. Peter, let's start with Spain. Yields, of course, are up. Everyone's talking about an unravelling here. When we look at Spain, we look at Portugal, we look at the unrest in Athens again. Are things unravelling, and what's the answer?
Yeah, well, the adrenaline fix is wearing off. This kind of LTRO boost that brought the yields down. We always knew it was going to be short term. I didn't think we realised it was going to be quite this short term. And in Spain's problem, I mean, Spain, a couple of things going on in Spain. First of all, they had this artificial boost from the banks, all kind of buying the government bonds.
Right.
There's been a big increase in bank buying government bonds, and at the same time, of course, the government has slightly kind of been backing away from some of its apparent commitment on the austerity front, which has spooked the investors. So. And the problem is, of course, for the Eurozone is, which is we've known all along, but once again we're reminded, is what can the Eurozone do about this?
Yeah. So that's the context. And what are you saying needs to be done? I mean, I note here you say self-help is the only answer. I.e., get to grips with your deficit, sort out, push the austerity. And let's face it, Rajoy's in a position to do that.
Yes, I mean that's the big difference. The big difference between, say, Spain now and Italy last year under Berlusconi is that you have a new government, they have a mandate, they can actually go ahead and do something. But I think the point we're trying to make really is that people talk about bailouts, people talk about helping the banks, and the banks have got two problems now. They have a property problem from the boom, which they never addressed, and they should have addressed, but they now have a problem, which is they now own a load of Spanish government debt as well. So you can imagine some kind of targeted program from the European bailout fund to recapitalize the banks and to help them write off their property exposure. But that won't necessarily solve the fact that they've got all this government debt. And the only way you solve that problem really is by getting the government deficit under control. So, and the Eurozone can't bail out the whole of Spain. So Spain is going to have to get to grips with it itself.
All right, we'll wait with bated breath and see what happens. I mean, let's face it, when we come back from Easter, I guess that's when the markets are going to really start telling us what's what. All right, Rothschild merging the French and British subsidiaries. Was that a surprise to you?
A little bit. It's a bit of an internal reorganisation. I mean, the big reunification of the houses of Rothschilds, the London and the Paris branches, happened a couple of years ago. So this is a bit of a tidying up exercise. But what's interesting is that they're merging everything into this listed entity in Paris called Paris Orléans.
Yes.
To which some might say, oh, well, is this the Rothschilds investment bank going public? And does this mean that, the family might be losing its grip? Well, actually, it's quite the opposite.
Right.
The families, even though this will be a listed entity and will retain a listing, they think the family will have a sort of a controlling part. It's a partnership structure in which the family is the controlling partner. And even though David de Rothschild, who is chairman of Rothschild and is getting on a bit, he may not be replaced by another Rothschild. The two people below him, neither of them are members of the Rothschild family. What's very clear is that the family will retain the ownership of this bank for the foreseeable future.
A savvy move.
Yeah, as ever.
As ever, exactly. Okay, Peter, many thanks for that. That's it for now. For more agenda-setting insight, watch our US Breaking Views show every day, 12:30 Eastern, 16:30 GMT. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.